All right, guys. Welcome to Frank Teaches DevOps. Hello, my lovely viewers. In today's video, I will be talking about VPN. VPN. VPN, we are still on this track of DevSecOps. All right. So VPN is Virtual Private Network. VPN acronym is Virtual Private Network. So the idea behind VPN is this. So VPN is a setup such that you want to access your private resources, all right, over the internet. Now you have resources that are local, that are private to your network, all right? These resources can't be accessed through, can't be accessed externally, all right? So because of some security reasons, all right, you deem it necessary that these devices cannot be accessed from the outside except via a tunnel, via a VPN. All right. So now let's just give us a typical high overview of the architecture of your office network through the VPN and the internet. All right. So now assuming now I have my internal resources. So let me just call it, these are my VMs, all right? These are my VMs. All right. So in this VM, this VM is inside of a private subnet. Okay. This is a private subnet. And so this is a private subnet. Private subnet. Okay. So this is a private subnet. Then you also have all of these definitely on a VPC. So this is the VPC. Now, we all know fully well that these devices, these resources hosted in a private subnet cannot be accessible directly from the internet. So let's say we have, let me look for, let's go to Google, cloud images. Okay, I have a better diagram. Let me take this. So this is my internet. All right. So this guy cannot be accessible via the internet. So there's no way you can access this guy via the internet directly, right? No way, because these resources are hosted in a private subnet. They're not hosted on a public subnet, right? Now, for you to be able to access these devices via the internet, then you need another setup, all right? You need another setup. So this setup will now be in between this, there would be a VPN. There would be a VPN. So we have a VPN. Now we have a VPN. So if this user, let's go to Google, let's use for user. Let me look for one of these icons. What are these icons? All right, this should be fine. Copy image. All right, so this guy from the internet, wants to access devices, services hosted on a private subnet in my private network. So what they will do, they'll first of all go through the internet. Sorry, they'll go through the VPN, right? So the VPN is going to tunnel their request. It's like they're going through a tunnel. So something like this. It's like they're going through a huge tunnel, right? They're going through a tunnel. Their request is coming through a tunnel. This is it, guys. So their request. No, first of all, the tunnel starts from here. All right. So the tunnel now is between the VPN, or maybe, yeah, all through from the internet to the private resource is the tunnel, right? So their request will go through this tunnel, through the VPN, then they can get towards to the private resource hosted in the private subnet. So guys, this is a top level overview, right? Top level overview of VPN, all right? Of VPN. So we have a lot of SaaS tool or a lot of VPN tools out there, which you could use to set up this kind of flow. So we have things like OpenVPN. We have OpenVPN. We have Pritunl. We have managed VPN services like the AWS VPN and Azure VPN, and a whole lot. All right. This color, what kind of color is this? And a whole lot, guys. But in today's video, I will be discussing about Pritunl, right? So Pritunl. So Pritunl is a type of VPN. It's a tool, all right? It's a tool for implementing VPN, all right? So this is going to be our flow, okay? So our flow will be, I have my VPN server. So on this instance, I'm going to be installing a Pritunl, all right? A Pritunl. Then on the server, I will create the server, I will create organization, and I will create the users on the server, all right? So it means that in here, I'm going to have organization. I'm going to have users. I'm going to have servers, depending, all right? Then what else? All right. So these are what I'm going to have on my Pritunl server. Then on my client side, I want to access resources that are hosted on the private subnet. So I'm going to have somewhere a Pritunl client. A Pritunl client, I call it VPN client. So with this VPN client, I should be able to authenticate with a user from the server side. All right. So without further ado, guys, let's now see how we will get started. So I will be working with the Pritunl documentation. So I have the documentation on docs.pritunl.com slash docs/installation. So take note, guys. So this is the document for Pritunl, all right? And on their documentation, they have different, what's it called? Different installation guide for different operating systems. All right, Linux operating systems. They have for Amazon Linux, they have for Oracle Linux, they have for what else? They have for other Linuxes. They have Alma Linux, Rookie Linux, they have for RHEL, okay? And finally, they have for Ubuntu, okay? Ubuntu and yeah. So in this tutorial, I'll be using what? Ubuntu 20.04, all right? So 20.04. So that's it, guys. So without further ado, let's hop onto my AWS and quickly create an EC2 instance based on Ubuntu 22.04. So I'll call this guy, you call it Dev VPN, all right? It's for my dev environment. I can say QA VPN, right? So the operating system is Ubuntu, the version is 22.04 as it is on the documentation. Please, you have to use 22.04, okay? Then the instance type, we just take something a bit higher, T2 medium. Key pair, frank key, network settings. Okay, I need okay. Frank VPC. This is a public subnet. Use an existing security group, Frank SG. Then the size, let me just give it 20 GB. 20 GB. All right, I think that's all, guys. Click on launch. So this instance is getting created. So the instance is getting created. That's a QA VPN, all right? So on this instance, I will be installing what? Pritunl. I will be installing Pritunl. Okay. Now, Pritunl runs on some specific ports. UDP precisely. Let me see something. Port numbers. Can I see the ports here? Configure engine device authentication. The good part is you can also pair Pritunl with the cloud providers. You can install it as a standalone, which we are doing now, all right? So we are installing it as a standalone. Let me look at this configuration. And port forwarding. Let's check. Port forwarding. Okay, because there are lots of UDP ports used by Pritunl, all right? So those ports has to be specified. Maybe I'm not seeing those ports here. I'm not seeing those ports here. Network mapping. I'm not seeing those ports here. Okay. There's also Pritunl Cloud. All right. All right. So let's work with what we have. So what I will be doing is what I will be doing is I'm going to manually set up the ports. All right. So great. So let's go on our instance, refresh. It's running. Now click on connect. Copy, go to my terminal and launch it. All right. So I'm going to be following the documentation side by side, guys, side by side. As you can see, the version of my my Ubuntu is 22.04, which corresponds with what we have on the documentation. So go by this setup step by step. So the first one is this. I'll copy this guy, come over here. I'll paste it. I'll hit enter. It is there. Come to the next link, copy it. Come over here, paste, enter. Come to the next guy, copy. Come over, paste, and enter. Come to the fourth one, copy. Come over here, paste, and enter. Great. So Pritunl works side by side with MongoDB. All right, so this repository is repository for Pritunl, and this repository is the repository for MongoDB. All right, so let's add the key for MongoDB. That's the key for MongoDB. It's been added. Then let's update our system. Update the system. Update. Okay. Okay. All right. So system has been updated. So let's now perform an upgrade. Upgrade is ongoing. So next will be a WireGuard. Let's check. Though this WireGuard is optional. WireGuard is optional. Configure WireGuard clients. Let's see. What is this WireGuard? WireGuard. For clients to use WireGuard, it must first be enabled and configured on server. Once the server and clients have WireGuard configured, button will be shown. Connecting to the client to select protocol. Server must allow the client to access the HTTPS port to allow connections to be authenticated. I don't know much about this WireGuard. All right. Though in this installation is kind of optional, but if you maybe you want to use it in the future, I want to read. Let's look up one or two about WireGuard. 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 What is it? The WireGuard fast modern secure VPN tunnel. Okay. It's an extremely simple yet fast and modern VPN that utilizes state-of-the-art cryptography. Oh, I see. So WireGuard is a communication protocol and free and open source software that implements encrypted VPN and was designed with the goals of ease of use. Okay, it's a kind of another layer of security. Okay, another layer of security on Pritunl. Okay, it makes sense. So let's install it. Let's get it installed. Right, I'm here. Let's get that installed. Sorry, I lost my connection. I was updating this. Let's get it installed. Upgrade. Whoa. There's a process currently ongoing. So that's upgrade. So ps-aux. So upgrade, where are you? Upgrade. upgrade. So I need to kill this process, right? So I need to kill it. So let me just use PQ by the name upgrade. All right. So check the process. The process is still there. You should go, or I use signal kill -9. Then the process ID 14466. That's it. Sudo. All right. So let's check that process one more time. If it's still there. So the process is dead. All right. So now I can continue with my upgrade. So upgrade is done. Then the next will be the WireGuard. All right. So WireGuard is a kind of a second layer security to your VPN. So let's get that installed. So let's get it installed. Okay. All right. So this has been installed. The next is we have to disable firewall. You have to disable Ubuntu firewall. Ubuntu firewall has been disabled. Then now we need to install Pritunl and MongoDB, right? Pritunl with MongoDB. Let's get that installed. So installation is ongoing. Installation is ongoing. Both Pritunl and MongoDB. Like I earlier mentioned, make sure that the version of Ubuntu is 22.04. If you take anything less than 22.04, you are going to have installation errors, right? Installation errors, especially in area of these MongoDB dash organization, because it's a different kind of MongoDB, all right? It's a different kind of MongoDB package, all right? So the challenge you have is a dependency challenge, right? Because an ordinary MongoDB package doesn't work with this stuff, all right? So this is what we need to do. Let's wait for the installation to get finished. Let's wait. It's almost there. Great. So we are all there. So the next thing we need to do now is to enable the service for MongoDB and Pritunl. Okay. Systemd service for MongoDB, both has been enabled. Then let's start the service. Start the service. Service started. So let's check the status. System status, Mongo and Pritunl. All right, so both services are running. So this is for Mongo. Mongo is running. Pritunl is running, right? So guys, we are all fine. So the next thing we need to do now is I'll go to AWS and grab my public IP. All right, without even grabbing your public IP, let's show us a command that you could use from your terminal to grab your public IP. So I'll just say call ident.me. So call ident.me is going to show me my what? Public IP. This is my public IP, all right? So copy it. If you want to confirm, it's the same thing. You can see it here, 63325353. Same thing we have. So I'll go to my browser and hit enter. All right? Advance, proceed. Now, here's my Pritunl database setup, all right? So Pritunl Enterprise VPN Server, right? It says that I should run this command to get the initial key setup, all right? So copy this command as it is. Copy. Come to your terminal and paste that. This should generate an initial password, right? A key thereabout, not the password. Paste it there and click on what? Save. So the moment you click on save, all right, so upgrading database, all right, so that's fine. Do the same thing, continue, then we need to log in. So Pritunl requires a default password. There's a default password for Pritunl. So the user is Pritunl, then the password. So copy this same command to get the password, the initial password for the Pritunl user. So come over here, paste that command and hit it. So here's the password. Copy it, go to your console and hit sign in. So with this now, we are successfully signed into what Pritunl. So at this stage, I can actually change the password of Pritunl, right? So here's the username Pritunl, the public IP, the web console ports, TCP, and over here I can change the ports, the password. So I can call it okay, let me give me the password. So I've given the password, then public IPv6 address. Then if you need to set up Let's Encrypt with a domain name that is attached to your Pritunl server, then you can impute that domain name here, right? That was set up via Let's Encrypt. Then click on what? Save. So we are all through. Let's click on save. Now, this is the dashboard, right? In its raw form. This is what we see. We've not started anything yet. So now there's something we need to do. We need to go back to AWS, go back to our instance. These are instance. Then come to security, then select the security group. Mind you guys, we need to set up UDP, right? Because Pritunl uses some UDP ports, right, for communication. So if that is not set up, we might have difficulty connecting the client to the server, right? So for that, I'm going to add a rule. I'm going to add a rule. I'm going to add a rule. Let me remove this. I'm going to add a rule for UDP. So I'll come here. I'll say what? All UDP. All right. I'm taking all UDP because I can't get those specific ports that Pritunl runs on. Okay. So but I can search for it. Let me go to Google. Pritunl UDP ports. What port does Pritunl use? 443. Let's check. Okay, it's so 1194. All right, UDP 1194. There are lots of UDP ports we need to open. A lot. There are lots. So let's keep it simple, all right, to be on the safer side, right? All UDP ports and should be open to entire world, all right? Click on save. Save. Now let's go back to our Pritunl server. So this is where we are, right? So the first thing I need to do as I am here, I have dashboard, I have users, I have servers, I have log settings and logouts. All right, so I'll go towards users. So click on users tab. On users tab, I have to create an organization. So click on what? Add organization. So in the organization name, I could give it Frank Teaches DevOps. Frank Teaches DevOps. That's my organization name. I'll click on what? Add. So this organization has been created. So the next thing I need to do now, I need to add a user to the organization, right? User or users, right? This you can add bulk users. So add user. So the username, I'll call this username, let me call it Tom. Then I'm adding this user to this organization. Email address is optional. Then I have to create a PIN for this user. It's very important because it is this PIN that you use with the VPN clients to authenticate the server. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So minimum of 6 character, minimum of 6 digits is used for the PIN, yeah? Great. Then click on what add. So this user has been added to the organization. Now, the next thing we need to do now is to create a server, right? So click on server. There are no servers. Click on add server. So the moment I click on add server, you will see, you can see that this is a UDP port, 16122. So this port keeps changing. So Pritunl uses a lot of different, if I cancel this now, let me cancel. Let me add server again. It has changed. Are you seeing it, guys? So the port number has changed. right? So that is why it's compulsory, it's necessary that you set all UDP ports, all right? All what? UDP ports, because if you don't do this, Pritunl might not be, your VPN client might not be able to authenticate properly with the server. So right, so that is why we need to open all UDP ports. All right, so that's it. If I cancel, this is 12.6.1.1. If I cancel, I go back to add server, the port will change. You can see 15.8.1.6. So it keeps changing. All right, so let's give the server a name. Let's call it QA 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 server, QA SVR, QA SVR. Yeah, let me write it in full. QA server. DNS, global DNS 8.8.8, that's fine. Virtual network, leave it as it is. All right. Then if you need to use MFA, all right, MFA with this setup, you enable what? Google Authenticator. But for now, I don't want to use it. Maybe in production, it will be wise. It would be wise. You make use of what? Um, um, MFA, all right, which is Google Authenticator. So if you want to see other more settings, all right, of the ad server, you can click on advanced. So once you click on advanced, you see a lot of other settings, all right, which you can work with. So you can also allow multiple devices. All right, let's tick that. I think we are all done. Then click on what? Add. Adding the server. All right, guys. So this server has been added. So you can see the server name is what? QA server. So if I click on QA server, I should see this, and you can always go back and make some changes. All right. You can always go back to make some changes by clicking on this guy. So if I want to disable multiple devices, come back here, remove multiple devices, and click on what? Save. You have that your multiple devices is being disabled. So if you want to enable it, you still go back here, click on advanced and enable, and click on save. All right. So that's it, guys. So the next thing we need to do is we need to attach the server to an organization. You can see here it's written down here. The server must have an organization attached. So we'll come over to our top right, all right? Click on what? Attach organization. So click on attach organization. So I'm attaching this server to what? My Frank Teaches DevOps organization. That's all. Click on attach. So perfect, guys. I think we are all set, right? We are all set. Great. We are all set. So now let's go now to users. Oh, no. The server has not started. So once you've attached the server to the organization, then you can click on what? Start server. Click on start server. So the moment you click on start server, it will show us the uptime for status is online, all right? And yeah, it was successful. The server have started. So now let's go to what? Users. Go to users. So this is what we have, or back to your dashboard. So on your dashboard, you see that you have one organization and you have one server that's online. Currently, you don't have any user that's online. So you go to your users. So we are all done, guys. We are set. We are set. We are set. So from our diagram, what we have here, we created organizations, we created users, and we created servers. We added the users to the organization, and we also attached the server to the organization. So what's remaining now is to download the user profile, this term, all right? We need to download this user's profile so that we can set up a VPN client, all right? So this is what's remaining, the VPN client. So I've already downloaded a Pritunl. So this is my Pritunl. So all you need to do is just go on Google and say download Pritunl clients, right? So click on download Pritunl clients. You see different VPN clients, Pritunl clients for different environments. You see for Windows, for Mac, for even Linux, right? You can also use other VPN clients like Tunnel Bleak. There's Tunnel Bleak. There's Open VPN clients. All right. You can use it with Pritunl. So great. So this is my Pritunl client. So all I need to do is to bring it up. Then I'm going to download my profile. This user profile, you download it. This is download. All right. This is download. Okay. Click on download. Let's look at what we have here. It's offline. So click on download. So I have downloaded this profile, which is tom.tar. It comes with the extension .tar, the username dot the extension. Now let's upload that. Let's import that profile. So I'll go to what? My Pritunl, and I'll click on import profile. All right. Click on import profile. Then I'll select the profile name, which is tom.tar. Then I'll click on what? Open. So the moment I click on open, I have this profile. You can see it now. Tom QA server. You can see QA server. For now, it is what? It is disconnected. So I need to connect now. So I'll come over here, click here, and click connect. So the moment I click on connect, it's going to request for the pin that's we created while creating the user. So the pin is 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then click on what? OK. So the moment you click on OK, it's trying to connect. It's now connected. You can see. So now you can see now this Tom has gone from offline to what? Online. The status has gone from what? Offline to online. You can see I'm now authenticated with my what? With my VPN. So at this juncture now, you can see that I'm now connected to the VPN. All right. Now, how do we know? Let's check. My VPN server is, let me close some of this. I'll close some of this, please. So my VPN server what's my VPN server? Which is the Pritunl server, is 63.32.53.53. So now I'll go to Google and I'll check what is my IP. So what is my IP? It's going to display the IP of the Pritunl server. You can see once it displays this, it means that I am connected to the VPN because of I'm now connected to the VPN. Now, if I disconnect now, watch you. I disconnect. I refresh this page. What is my IP? My IP has changed to my original IP. So at this juncture now, I'm no longer connected to the VPN. I'm outside of the VPN. But if I go back here, Pritunl, and connect, is connected. If I refresh my what's my IP, it's going to change to what? This is now my public IP, right? So at this juncture now, I'm connected from the internet now to the VPN server. So anything within this network should be accessible. So let's try it and see. So I'll go to AWS and I'll go to VPC. I'll launch VPC. I'll go to subnet. I'm going to create a private subnet under that same VPC. So I'll create subnet under this Frank VPC. Let me call it private sub. All right. Availability zone is that. Then this will be, I have 3 subnets. So this will be 4.0. Oh, this is VPC, sorry. The CEDAR block of my subnet will be 10.0.0, sorry, .4.0/24. Private subnet, create subnet. So I have created a private subnet, all right, based on the VPC. This is a private subnet. So I want to set up a virtual instance within this private subnet. All right. So I'll go to what? EC2. Go to EC2. All right. Go to launch instance. Sorry. Launch instance. Then I'll call it, let me call it, let's call it e-payment. So this e-payment is a critical virtual instance that's going to house critical services, critical financial services. All right. So I'll call it e-payments. So based on Amazon Linux 2, then T2 Micro, the key pair is Frankie. The network, I did the network, come over here, Frank VPC. The subnet is going to be the private subnet. This is a private subnet. Click on the private subnet, and there's no public IP, obviously. Then same security group, Frank SG. That's all. Click on launch. Let's view the instance. So I want to see how I can be able to access this e-payment virtual machine through the internet over VPN, over the VPN. Let's check that. Let's check that. So refresh is taking some time to come up. Take some time. Oh, it's up now. So my e-payment is up. So I click on connect. So I'm going to pick this guy. I'll pick the connection string. That's a connection string. Remember, this is a private IP. All right. So I'll bring my terminal, go to over here, and let's paste that guy. All right. So I'll hit on enter. So you can see it's even authenticating because of what I am on the VPN. I'll say yes. So you can see I've been able to log into my what? To my private device. This is a private VM with a private subnet. All right. I'm accessing this VM via the VPN. You can see how handy this stuff is. All right. This guy is very private. Look at now. It's private. I'm accessing it through what? Through the VPN because my VPN is on. So now if I exit, now I disconnect from the VPN. Come over here, disconnect. If I try to access that stuff again, let's wait. You can see it's taking a lot. It's taking time. It's taking time to authenticate. It's taking time to connect because what? We are not on the VPN. So you have to be on the VPN to access the resource. So it's going to time out, right? Let's wait for it to time out. I love to see this. Let me pause the recording. So once it's timed out, we will be right back. Pause recording. Pause. So you can see the connection has timed out, right? Connecting to a host is a private IP, guys. On port 22, operation timed out. So it's not possible. It's only possible when you are on a VPN, which you've already set up. So connect back to your VPN. Connect back to your VPN. All right, so I'm connected to the VPN. Now let's try to connect again to that instance. You can see I'm now connected. So far, so good, guys. You've seen how we've been able to set up a traditional VPN server and VPN clients, right? We saw what a VPN is. We were told VPN is a virtual private network. And what's the use case? The use case is used to access, to securely access devices or services that are hosted on private subnets over the internet. All right. To securely access these devices that are hosted, these services that are hosted within the private subnet via the internet. So that's the use case of a VPN. All right. So that VPN. So once you are connected to the VPN, all your communication, right, will be going through a tunnel. All your communication will be going through what? A tunnel. That's where the concept of IPsec come into play, all right? IPsec. But that will be a discussion for another day, right? So far, so guys, we've seen how to implement VPN server and VPN clients with what? With Pritunl. So that being said, I would love to bring today's video session to a close. And as part of your support, we still oblige you guys to help us, all right? Spread the good words, to your community, to your network. All right. Let them like our videos, like the channel, subscribe, subscribe, because we could see that the number of video activity on the videos, they are more than the number of subscribers. So please, guys, encourage us. We need your encouragement. We need your encouragement. Please encourage us so that we'll keep dishing these things as they come. It's unusual, guys. So please encourage us. And thank you so much, and have a wonderful week ahead. All right. So you can do a cleanup. So let's start the cleanup from the VPN itself. So I'll come here and I'll do a delete. So delete, are you sure? Yes. So you can see that is gone. Then I can also go to the server, and I'll just crash this server though from AWS. All right. I'll crash the server from AWS. So thank you, guys. Thank you, and have a wonderful week ahead.